Rosann, we've known each other for 3 decades.
Yes, a long time.
And you have been a professional counselor.
As you have been a professional counselor, how many people have we known in Hong Kong?
Yes, quite a lot.
So many different people.
And so many changes.
And that's why we want to think about women now and women then, and how women have changed over these years.
That must be very interesting.
Yes.
And it covered different generations.
Always.
Well, if they're interested in what we are talking about, how are they going to find us?
You're going to find us Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, PsychoAlchemy. We are Women Now and Then.
See you there.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you all again, and good to see you, Dorothy.
Yes.
Of course. This is episode number 6, but we're going back to a very important, actually the primary relationship, our mothers, and ourselves as mothers. You might be a biological mother. You may adopt children. You may be taking care of children that are not your children, but you need to care for them.
Yes.
So we're talking about mothering generally. I think I had a very hands-on mother. She was a pretty direct lady. My Italian-American mother left very few decisions to me in the growing up years.
Yes.
She was in charge of the household. And my sister and I have a sister 1 year younger. We did things the way Mom wanted it. The way Mommy wanted it. That's the way you will do it. How about you? Was your mother pretty directive or?
Well, I would say my mother is more manipulative.
No. Truly, Dorothy.
Hey, come on. Chinese woman will not say something so direct.
Yes.
But somehow she managed to just, hint.
Yes.
And without knowing, you are acting exactly as she told you.
Oh.
And sometimes you don't even feel that much pressure in you. She just would say, oh, well, weather has changed. Well, I see a lot of people in the street coughing. And since you have to teach and meet a lot of people, maybe you should consider wearing a jacket.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah.
Because I mean, from what, age 6, 8, 10, as I would go out of the house in the morning, and I thought, I can see how hot or cold it is September mornings. My mom would say, carry a sweater, carry a jacket,
Carry an umbrella.
when you come home it might be cold. Mom, it's not cold. It's early September. It's not cold. I think you should take a sweater.
Well, in a way, your mother is more direct. My mother is more manipulative. That's what I said. And I would say when we decided to talk about relationship, I definitely think mom's relationship with daughter deserve a whole hour episode devoted, dedicated to mother. Because last time we talked about, how a woman carry a child.
Yes.
And the thing is, mother has so much influence on daughter then and now, all right? And I would say if we don't talk about motherhood, there's no way you can understand yourself. I need to tell you a joke.
Yes. Okay.
I work very hard.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Long hours.
Long hours.
Long hours.
And sometimes I have to go to my client's office to do corporate training.
Yes.
And usually the training will end around 5:30. So after packing everything, and I was so tired, I got onto the MTR. I'm so glad I find a seat. And I was like this, because for the all day I've been like this, right?
Yes.
So smart, all ready to charge, right?
Yes.
But then at 6:30 in the MTR, I was just like this. And I remember once I'm all the way over at Chun Wan or whatever, and I was like this, and then suddenly I look, oh, Mom, I saw myself
In the MTR?
in the MTR. I said, Ma. And then I realized it's actually my reflection.
Oh!
I was once I realized I was, oh my God, I look so much like my mom.
Wow.
Right? I mean, at that moment, I was I was laughing at myself.
Of course.
Right.
Of
And
course.
I heard so many people said, Dorothy, as you ages, you look so much like your mother. Your voice like your mom, your mannerism like your mom, your concern and all your little things.
Yes.
And we definitely know you are Jenny's daughter. And you know what? The same thing happened. The other day,
Yes.
my mom told me someone just ran up to her and said, Tai Tai, Mrs., I think you are Dorothy's mother.
Oh. Oh, Dorothy.
Right? That
really-
resemblance.
Yes.
But I think my mom felt so good.
yeah.
Right? I don't know, when people said I look like my mom, we're like siblings, I felt a little bit sad. I usually laugh at that person, say, oh, such a good compliment. You are complimenting, you are making my mother
Yes.
very happy, but you are making me very sad. She's so much younger than her age, and I'm so much older than my age. But I think deep down inside, I'm so glad my mom and me are so close.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I think this relationship make a big difference. I know you have siblings, and you
Yes.
as a mother, you have 5 daughters.
Oh, yes. There were
Right.
many daughters.
Yes.
Many
So you-
daughters.
Many daughters. I'm stepmom for 3 daughters.
Yes.
So I think motherhood is something that we need to really look deep into it.
Yeah.
You know, how
Yeah.
our mother influenced us. And I don't know, when you were a child, have you struggled very hard to have like a separate identity? You don't want your mother to control you so much. And then maybe after a certain age, you gradually realize you are becoming like her. And tell me about your
Well,
experience.
it's the same and different, of course.
Okay, yeah.
I'm the elder of 2 sisters,
Okay.
and then much younger brother. And in terms of identity, I don't know that I had an identity
Ooh.
all the way up to about being 11 or 12 or 13. I did what my mother wanted us. It's springtime. It soon would be Easter. Okay, we have to get you a new coat because it's Easter. And we have to get you a hat so that when you go to church on Easter Sunday, you have a hat. Did I decide that? I had no idea. That was my mother deciding for me.
Yes.
In terms of what toys we wanted, my mother decided what toys we would get. I don't know that there wasn't the influence of television or the cell phone. So my mother chose toys. I think my mother and father decided when we should get 2-wheeler bicycles, having a sister. It was the 2 of them together. We do it. So I'm not quite sure that I had an identity until I was an early teenage.
I see.
gal.
Yeah.
Early teenage.
Yeah,
gal.
because I remember last 2 episodes we talk about body. You know how you, because your sister is just 1 year younger than you,
That's
right?
right.
And you 2 get into the bathtub and you take bath, right?
take a bath
So
together.
I can imagine. Maybe I'm the single daughter. It's a little bit different.
It's different,
My mom play a lot of attention in me, and I'm also a drama queen ever since I was kid. As I told you before, my mother has to work, so in order to draw her attention, I always have a little accident here and there. You know, I
Oh.
broke my arm when I
That's
was
not
like,
a little accident. You broke your arm.
playing with the boys. And
Yes.
then I fell on the staircase and I just go like this, and then this part just cracked. A lot of little accidents in order to draw my mother's attention.
Yes.
And sometimes once I reach age when I have my menstruation, I always have cramps. And
Oh, Dorothy.
end up coming back home and like, oh, 辛苦, right, complaining, crying. And then when she came back from work, and she would just rub my belly, and I feel so much better.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like the mother-daughter relationship. To me, my mom is more like a angel, you know, and she will
Yes.
give me all the support. And also at the same time, when I was a little kid, she was like in her 20s. So she's
Oh,
so
yeah.
pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah, 20, 30.
Right.
At that time, she'll wear beautiful dress, and her hair is, everything is so pretty. Like the
Wow.
photo you show me.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, your mom, right? They're all so well dressed.
Oh, yes. Mothers with young children.
Right. So
Yes.
it's like our first impression of what a woman should dress like, how she carry herself is for my mom, right?
Oh, that's very important. That's very, very important.
Yeah.
But my mother was quite direct, and also my mother worked. And so when I would come home from school, there would be take the dog for a walk, take care of your little brother because something else,
Right.
And then she would call from work at about 5 o'clock and say, I've left some food on the top of the stove. I want you to start to heat it up slowly. Don't turn that flame up too high. Go slowly.
Yes,
and
we won't control you.
Yeah. And I want you to start the salad, but don't put any dressing on it. But you find the things, wash them very well. And I would then start, okay, this is what she means, the stove. And I'd take the lettuce, the tomato, I guess this is what she meant.
Yes.
5 minutes later, the phone would ring.
Again?
Rosann, did you make the salad? I just barely got things out
of the refrigerator.
Right. The cucumbers are a little bit old, so I want you to cut away the old part. All right, I can do that. Call me back when you made the salad. All right, but I still had my little brother. So I had to take, my brother was 12 years younger. He was a preschooler. I had to take care of him. And I'm going, okay. And of course, he wants attention when he sees you're busy. So he's hanging around my leg. Rosann, help me. Rosann, help me. Ring that telephone again. I'll be home in half an hour. Now I want you to take the meat out of the refrigerator and put it on the stove, but don't start heating it. I go, okay, Mom, I'm doing this salad. Don't put any dressing on the salad. Your father doesn't like it with. You're the one who. I never put dressing on the salad. You do it all the time.
Yes.
But my mother had particular things about the meal.
Yes.
And then she would say, do all of that and set the table. All right. So there I was, a young teenage girl in the kitchen. And I have to say, I learned a lot of skills that way.
Definitely. And you are willing to oblige,
There was no choice, Dorothy. My dad would be coming back from work.
Well,
my sister had to do her homework. I was the one who did the kitchen work.
Well, you said there's no choice. Definitely there's a choice. The choice is if so happen she asks you to don't put in the dressing, you put in the dressing. Obviously next time you don't need to do it, right? So why you have to be repeatedly doing that? Because every time you have done it well, maybe better than her expectation. So that's why you get the job. But I was thinking, do you agree? Mother always had more demands on the daughter. In a sense,
eldest daughter.
Yeah.
So many demands.
Yes. And to me, it's more like the mother will be the one that will decide whether the daughter is good or not on how much she can perform. Right? We have saying that opposite parents have different expectation on their child. Mother and daughter, because it's from the same sex, there is no way you can just do something like I'm you. You cannot do this and get away from your duties.
Yes, that's true.
You can do that to your father, but not to your mom. So sometimes, as a teenagers or maybe even older, the mother's demand on you can create a lot of tension. Because the mother expect you to be highly effective, efficient.
Fast. Get this supper on the table. And take care of your brother.
And your brother. And the thing is, it's more conditional kind of love.
Oh.
Don't you think so? If you don't perform, mom will be unhappy. And as a child, you want to get your mom recognition, acknowledgement, or love. So daughter tend to have to perform a lot of duties. Whereas father, I don't know, but my case is very typical. My father had a totally different way of treating me and my brother. He always say that Dorothy can do anything she likes. Whereas my brother has to be good at school, be gentleman, learn how to save money, all those what a man needs to do, my brother has to perform, but I am exempt from that. So I don't know about you. Do you think your mother is more demanding on you, especially the eldest daughter?
She was demanding, and the demand and the skill development and the trust grew at the same time. Because we moved along from take the food out but don't start cooking it to something like making a pizza.
Wow, I was thinking making a roast beef.
Oh no, making a pizza.
Making a pizza.
Which we, the dough was going to be ready because she had made the yeast bread.
Yeah, right.
But her instructions to me were, in the fridge, take out all the small pieces of cheese first. Grate those up before you open the new packages of cheese.
Yeah.
And then after a while she would say, you know what to do with the cheeses now, right? So there was, you get the skill, you get the instruction.
Yes.
You get the skill, and then you get the trust. So that automatically I learned whenever there's small bits, you have to use those up first. Don't dare start something new. And she expects that if there's packages of biscuits or cookies, use the started ones first.
Oh, right.
Go ahead with that. And she would go, Rosann knows how to do that. And I would feel, oh, Rosann knows how to do that.
Wow.
It was tough teaching.
Yes.
And she would be out of the house, but instructions on the telephone all the time.
Yes.
All the time.
Well, but that's one thing quite different.
Yes.
Then the mother relies so much on the daughter.
Yes.
And the daughter perform, the trust build up. I would say now the daughter and mother relationship are very tense. First of all, the mother herself cannot cook. She has to rely on the Filipino maid.
Yes.
And then the mother, if somehow she asks the daughter to perform, to do something, maybe take care of the younger sister or brother, and if that daughter is not obeying or not doing, somehow disappointed the mother will no longer trust the daughter. So that create a lot of tension, right? Because at our age, I think I am already a little bit more rebellious than you, but still I will still try to be a good daughter. Women today, if the mother asks you to do certain thing, like, okay, you are going to take care of your little brother, he's going to practice piano, make sure he do. I cannot do it. Why should I be the one doing it? I asked him to play the piano, and he said, "You get out of my room." Right? So the sister would just walk away and play with his iPhone. But I can see if the daughter never follow the instruction of the mother and do the things according to the mother's wish, that trust just didn't work out.
Trust doesn't happen. But also now and then, Dorothy, there was much more in my household growing up. There was more food preparation from scratch.
Yes.
How to make a pie crust, how to make a cake, which ingredients to save for the pie, which peel the apples, do this.
Wow.
So that there was a lot of preparation for.
Yes.
And then she would come in to do the things she wanted to do. And I would sometimes walk in the middle of pies being made and something being in the oven, and I'd say, shall I wash up the dishes? No, stay out of the kitchen now. Take care of your brother.
Yes.
And then she said, I'll finish up and then you can wash all the dishes. Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, women
just
at that
different,
time, right.
But it was, for me, I look on it, there was skills in cooking, food preparation, but there were skills in time management.
Oh, definitely.
The kitchen had a limited amount of area.
Yes.
No need to have two people in that kitchen.
Right, and
You wait.
delegation.
You're the younger one.
Yeah.
You wait.
Yes.
You wait.
Wow, that's something today's family kind of missing.
Oh, yeah.
The children no need to go into the kitchen.
Yeah.
The food just come out at 7:30.
In packages.
Yeah, and they just eat it and then drop the chopstick and go back to play with the computer game. And that's something maybe missing in a family. If you actually see your mom like cooking, Chinese cooking is really big thing, right? At least 3 or 4 dishes with soup, and your mom is sweating, and sometimes she just asks you, oh, go get me, I forgot to buy that egg. You just rush down and get me some egg from the supermarket and come back, and all that. Actually, you have quite a different relationship with your mother.
Yes.
Right? But whereas if we are just sitting there waiting to eat, you all the time staying in our room and just, hey, 食飯啦, mom call out and you come out to eat, and once you finish eating, you go back to your room.
Yeah.
Wow, I can
Not the
see
same.
that. Not the same.
Same.
How can you develop a mother-daughter relationship or mother-child, children relationship?
Yeah, mother. I think it's important to teach children how to cook. I think part of being a teenager is you should be able to, there's a list of things you should be able to cook eggs, at least 3 different. Should be able to make sandwiches. Should be able to do that. Should be able to maybe make spaghetti sauce, pasta dish,
Yes.
pizza.
Yeah. So at one day your maid is gone, your mother is not around. At least you can cook yourself something to eat, right?
Yes.
And now we are going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to talk about like mother-daughter's tension.
Tensions,
Right. And
yes.
then how the tension can actually affect your future relationship.
Oh, very smart.
Yeah, let's do
That's
that.
what we're doing next time.
Yes.
Dorothy 有啲人咧成日話我哋9型人格嘅4號仔咧，就硬係咧好多愁善感，有分外多情嘅喎。你點睇呢一樣嘢？
咁就見仁見智嘅。不過比起其餘嗰8個 number 咧，我哋又真係好似好多時都被情所困咁樣，真係會令人會覺得我哋好多情嘅。
咁但係情又係乜嘢嘅一回事咧？
咁其實情好闊㗎，有對父母嘅情啦，對兄弟姊妹嘅情啦，友情啦咁。不過我諗最困擾我哋嘅就係啲痴情咯，同埋因為情而帶嚟嘅好多嘅傷痛。
咁啊，如果大家咧想知道我哋有幾咁多情咧，就留意我哋個節目啦。逢星期4晚夜晚10點正，練心堂濃滿多情。
Oh, Dorothy, we talked about the tension.
Yes.
The mother-daughter tension. Does it exist on so many levels? And sometimes it's verbalized, and sometimes there's so much anger. It just seems, what can I do? Such a thing happened
Yes.
when I was a young teenager. My mother truly wanted me to go for religious instruction after school.
Okay.
Now, we went to church on Sundays, and my logical mind, why do I have to go to get more information during the week? Well, you're getting older, you're going to go for confirmation. You must do this. And I thought, what is this my mother saying? I must do it. I was crying. She was angry. Oh, it was terrible. I just would not go. Would not go. Would not go. She must have talked to my father.
Oh.
So the next day, my father said to me, make me a cup of coffee. Nobody talks with, would you please make me? Not happen. In Italian families, make me a cup of coffee. Sit down. We need to talk. So I did that, and just my father, I don't know how it was just my father and me alone, but he must have planned that. And he said, I hear your mother wants you to do some more religious instruction. I said, yes, and it's ridiculous. I don't have to do that. I don't want to do that. I can learn it myself. So I gave all my reasons. I can learn it myself. I don't need it now. My sister doesn't have to do it. And he said, I hear you. So I said, I don't have to go? And he said, no, you have to go. So I said, you're not being very logical. And I was going, Dad, come on, you're not being... And he said, you go because your mother wants you to go. It will make her happy. And it will make her mother happy. So here we had some kind of tension going on where my father was ready to talk to me, but he already had made up his mind what I was going to do. And he put my mother's happiness and her mother's happiness above the logic of the whole thing. And I think that was one of the strongest lessons to me, that within families, sometimes there's no logic.
And I would say your father is not making a request. This is a demand.
Absolutely. It was a command. It was a command. You will go. It will make your mother happy.
Well, I have a less demanding situation. For for a while, typical women always think that we are overweight, right? So I heard so many different kind of diet. One of them is like a vegetable soup diet. So I have been trying that for quite some time. My mother, she's always so proud of the delicious Chinese soup she can make with a lot of meat, chicken, everything, ham, and it's so greasy. And she said, you have to drink that. But that is totally against my vegetable soup diet, right? So I said, Mom, please just let me have my vegetable soup diet. And I think for almost 3 weeks, I didn't drink any of her delicious Chinese soup. And one day, similar, I went back home and my father said, hey, come, let's talk. I said, huh? What happened? Seldom men will do something like that. And he is more polite in a way. He said, I heard you are having this particular diet called the vegetable soup. I said, yes, it works. I lost some weight. My belly is a little bit smaller, right? Didn't you notice it? Yes, I noticed. It's good for you. But you make your mom very sad. Because you are not drinking her soup. I said, but Dad, mom's soup is actually gravy, right? And actually it's all grease, and it's not helping my diet. And then my father said it in a less demanding way but more authoritative way. The only contribution your mom can give you now is her soup, because you have to work all the time. She cannot control what you're eating during the day and not even during the dinner. So all she can serve you is to make you the soup. So drink it. And it's so funny. And when you said that, same, right? And mom seems to always know what is the best for you. And I don't know about the girls now. If they don't drink, they just pour it in the toilet bowl and flush the toilet. I don't know. But in my days, even though I struggle, at the end, if you like your father is love from mom and love from grandma, you have to oblige. For me, it's like, how can you say no to love, right? And especially they also put the men on the table. So at the end of the day, I just act accordingly. And that's one thing, since this is more like you going to an extra class of religious study, me drinking another extra 3 bowls of gravy soup. But to a lot of ladies, women today, they are not willing to listen. They can fight. And I have so many clients now in their mid-30s, when in their 20s, their mom had a lot of suggestions like, I don't suggest you go out with a black guy, there's no future. Or why after you graduate you go to Shanghai to work. If you go to London, I can understand, right? And then why don't you work for Citibank? Why you go for this corporation? So a mother always want to influence. I would see women now are less willing to listen, right? And I don't know, sometimes I just wonder whether not listening is a way women sort of different, willing to stand on their own instead of being influenced by their mother. Or is it because maybe the children now are more independent, right? Or less sensitive to the mother's need? And would that be a long-term effect on the mother-daughter relationship? What do you think?
All of that. I also think that there's more variation. We've been talking about intact families where there is a mother and a father, and that mother and father are bringing up, us, the children in our family. I see many more differences in families these days. Often two career-oriented people. So I'm dealing with people in their 30s and in their 40s.
Yes.
They mutual affection, there's some kind of sexual attraction, and they also think about having a family, but they know more about careers than they do about family. I also find with international families in Hong Kong, there isn't the close presence of his family or her family. So this pair have to not only keep the careers going, keep the money coming in, but now they have to also raise children together, and they have no experience at raising children. And they don't have a sister-in-law or a cousin nearby. So our expat families are at a greater challenge, different kinds of challenge. Different kinds of challenge. To say nothing of our single-parent families. And there are many more single-parent families now. Just the father, just the mother. They only have the kids for the school year. They only have the kids for the summer. So our kids are getting a little bit emotionally resilient to who they have to listen to. Back on the cell phone again. And the peer group influence.
Yes.
And actually, there's less food being prepared in the home. So even if you don't have a helper in the home, you can buy frozen dinners, you can buy meals on the way home. Everything is a bit easier. Cleaning the house, not so difficult anymore. The surfaces are non-stick. Things get cleaned up.
True.
The laundry doesn't have to be ironed. So there is not as many housekeeping responsibilities to teach children so they can participate. If you say, we want you to straighten your room, some children are sharing a room, bunk beds. You only have to straighten a bed. Well, Mom, it doesn't matter to me. I can get in that bed. Certain amount of logic to that. No one will see it during the day. So what can they do to help out?
Right.
And that's important. That maybe we don't want to condemn contemporary parents. We want to ask them to think, well, what would you like to do with your children? Not only what's good for the children, what would you like to happen? And I see families doing more basic cooking together, learning to bake bread.
That's
one
right.
thing.
Those ABC plays, right?
Yes.
Parent and children go to.
Parent and children. Or make your own pizza. Friday nights where all the assembled down, we're going to have pizza night. So that there becomes a family social activity. Or movie night just for our family. But these young parents need to think up what can they do with their children because their own growing up years are so different. Where we hit the conflicts with today's kids are how many hours on computer games? Oh my goodness. Parents, relatively few parents have years of experience on computer games. Some do, but most don't. How much of the computer time is actually homework? Because so many of the schools have
demand.
Your homework is on the screen. So then click when your mom comes into the room. Click to homework. So that this again, the technological change of our life is forcing new kinds of problems where parents have to think. But they were not trained by their parents on how to think about
It's a totally different issue. Where when they grew up, they don't have that problem. But when you just now describe all the roles and responsibility mom used to play, whereas now it seems all these responsibility have been taken away, right? When we were young, the mother was responsible for feeding us, cleaning up the place. And it's like when we see how our parents handle the household duties and taking care of our father, ourselves, we are actually learning quite a lot. But now, especially in Hong Kong, the mother's role, the woman's role in the family are getting so small. I think the Filipino maid becomes the surrogate mother, right?
The ama drama.
She's the one that do everything. So that's why, I don't know whether you heard about this kind of story. A lot of working mother, they will go home and fire of the Indonesian maid or Filipino maid, mainly because when she after a whole day's work, she opened up the door and tried to, hey, George, come over, Mom is back. Baby didn't come over. And when George just run over to the maid and kissed the maid, and the working mother becomes so envy. Without knowing, she has very little contribution to the babies, to the boys, everyday life, right? The boy has breakfast, lunch, or maybe even dinner with the maid,
Yes.
not with the parents. And so
Yes.
the mother and child relationship, because of our busy work life, and also because I would say a lot of Chinese women are more than willing to allow the maid to do all the cooking and do all the cleaning, all the washing. So they actually take away their role in the family. The children don't see this woman as working. She's the one who bring back the computer with a whole stack of paperwork and start working. So
Yes.
there's no...
It's difficult, Dorothy.
Very difficult,
It's very difficult.
Yes.
A different kind of example. When I
Yes.
was working with Puerto Rican families in New York City in 1960s, many rural migrants into an urban area.
Yes.
There weren't computers, but if the woman could get a job outside the home, that was good. There might be an auntie, somehow a third adult, father, mother. So there's 3 or 4 adults raising 3 or 4 children, households of 7 or 8 people. But no time for everybody to sit together. So whoever came home first would start the soup.
Oh, yeah.
Another person would cook the rice.
Right.
Another person would do this. And whichever adult was there would feed the younger children.
Yes.
So there we saw the economy changing the life patterns of families. These days, we have so much new communication technology.
Yes.
Women are so happy for getting jobs. Women I talk to, the 30-somethings don't want to get married. They don't want to have that responsibility. What do they want? They want their own money by themselves.
Yeah, right.
Don't want to talk to any parents, any about money.
Yeah.
They want time to travel.
Travel that for... Yeah.
Time to travel. And on Friday nights, they would like to go and drink with their friends.
Yes.
That seems to be one of the things that young women, women in their 20s and 30s, not yet ready to be into a family. And families, thank the Family Planning Association, Hong Kong families are small. Less than 2 children.
Less than 2.
So it's 1 child. Now you can imagine how much rice do you need to cook for 2 adults and 1 child? And then who's going to clean up? She hasn't seen the baby she wants. How do a husband and wife divide that up? Yet, in addition to the tasks and the skills, there are attitudes that we get from our parents. We almost inherit them. I saw my mother and father visit their parents every weekend. That we were all relatively close enough.
Yes.
And if we didn't go visit them, there was a telephone call, but we certainly the next weekend. There was not a question of do you want to go?
You have to go.
Not even a question of obligation. It was a habit.
Yes.
It was a cultural habit.
Yeah, tradition.
That you do that. Now, with our long distance relationships from families, that seems to break down. We don't go see parents on weekends, but maybe the parents come to see, because grandparents, our grandparents can all travel less expensively than a family of 3 or a family of 5, whatever. So we then have intensive periods of time. But what do we remember about? What do we remember about how our mothers used to do things, or how our mothers would solve a problem, or what would mom say with this situation?
Yes.
So it's not only the tasks and the skills, but what went on in the conversation? How did we absorb our mother's sense of values? How did that happen? Not only do you look like your mother, you're probably very much like your mother in your relationships.
Yes, exactly. When you said that, I have a similar situation. My parents will regularly visit the older generation people, and to us it's more like a respect, and every time when we went to visit these old ladies, my father will stay behind a little bit longer so that he can give them some pocket money. He won't give it in front of everybody because it's very embarrassing for these old ladies. And those old ladies always love my father. And when my father passed away, or sometimes he cannot attend this kind of function before he passed away, my mother will be the one that do all these. So I can see that without teaching, they are actually doing it in front of us. So obviously, by seeing that all the time, is in me.
Yes.
And I know that I have to at least give them a call, pay them a visit. If they come over, secretly I'll give them some money in order to, they will feel so happy. Oh, 唔使啦, 唔使啦, 唔使啦. But actually they feel so happy.
Of course.
Right? And when you said that, women now, and if they are not doing anything like these in front of their children, and all they do is if they get married, they just go to Japan to ski or maybe go to Korean to shopping, and there's no such thing as the relationship building. I can imagine the next generation, they will not do it. They don't see it anymore. Like in Hong Kong
now.
Right.
Now.
Especially less and less people stay in Hong Kong for the CNY, Chinese New Year, right? And when we were young, CNY, Chinese New Year is the best time of the year. We have all the good food, we got the money, and all the relatives gather together to play mahjong, and a lot of fun. But now, just before Chinese New Year, people just took off to different part of the world. And the relationship changes. And a lot of Chinese will tell me, once their mother passed away, those regular meetings no longer happen.
Take place.
So maybe at our last section, we can maybe go a little bit into, apart from the books and the movies, we can talk about, so what can we do?
What can we do?
What can we do?
Contemporary question.
Yes.
Yes. What can we do now?
Yes.
Very good, Dorothy.
All right, come back.
Dorothy 啊，啲人咧成日話我哋九型人格嘅4號仔咧，就硬係咧好多愁善咁，又分外多情嘅喎。你點睇呢一樣嘢？
咁就見仁見智嘅。不過比起其餘嗰8個 number 咧，我哋又真係好似好多時都被情所困咁樣，真係會令人會覺得我哋好多情嘅。
咁但係情又係乜嘢嘅一回事咧？
咁其實情好闊㗎，有對父母嘅情啦，對兄弟姊妹嘅情啦，友情啦咁。不過我諗最困擾我哋嘅就係啲痴情咯。同埋因為情而帶嚟嘅好多嘅傷痛。
咁啊，如果大家咧想知道我哋有幾咁多情咧，就留意我哋個節目啦。逢星期4晚夜晚10點正，練心堂濃滿多情。
Talking about the now. How do women of today deal with mothering?
Yes.
How do the daughters who are in their 30s and 40s deal with their mothers? And then we have teenage girls coming up. So we have, the now is maybe 3 generations of mothers, or possibly 4, because the women in their 50s and 60s are also caring for, having relationship with women in their 70s, 80s, or 90s. So there might be 4 generations of women. I think it's, first of all, it's important to say there's many different kinds of mothers. There are many women who want children. Not all do not want children, but many want children.
Yes.
And feel that that's part of their identity, to be a mother. There are many women who wish they could be working wish they could be full-time moms, but when they get to be full-time moms, they're not so sure this is what they want.
Yeah, it's a tough
but
job.
They have a choice then. They have a choice if they have job skills. So this is one of the dilemmas of our modern adult mature women in their 20s, 30s, 40s. Well, they have relatively young children. Should they be at home with their children? Should they not be at home? It's not an easy decision.
Oh, definitely.
Not an easy decision. For some, it is. For those women who are so sure they want to be the mother of their children, they want to be the present parent. That's clear.
Yeah.
For those girls who are really sure they want a career, that's clear to them.
Yes.
They're happy to share the child care
Yeah.
with their husband or paid others. But most women are somewhere in the middle.
Oh, definitely.
They have inherited the capacity to care and to nurture. But they also have these wonderful small electronic screens that show them all the things that could be bought, all the different kinds of places where they might live,
Yes, yes.
all the vacations they might take.
Right, right.
So then they look at, should we go to Iceland? Because this would be good for my child.
Yes.
So she's working because she wants to see Iceland, but she also wants her 7-year-old, 9-year-old to see Iceland. So the complexity of feelings has never been so great. When we lived in small villages, when we were on the farm, you couldn't go out to work somewhere
Life
else.
is so simple. You have no choice, right?
You're living on a farm. You're a farmer's wife, or a farmer's daughter, or a farmer's mother-in-law. But you still do the same work. If you're living in densely packed urban areas, you work in a textile shop, you work in an electronic shop. No choice. What we're seeing now is the emergence of a wider middle class where women certainly have choices. One of the big choices is that birth control pill has changed women's
Oh,
lives.
definitely. Yes, yes.
So you don't have to have children. You can have sex. We'll talk about that another time. Don't worry. Another time. But how do we resolve these issues? Now, we've been talking, for the moment, we've been talking about mothering relatively young children, children in primary school or grade school. There's also an interesting kind of mothering that goes on with teenagers. And when kids go off to university.
Yes.
Wow. And then when they finish university, do they move back in or not? And what kind of mother are you then? And then when they're in their 30s, what kind of mother are you then? So we should be talking about what kind of mother you want to be. Many mothers want some kind of communication going on. So whether the grown-up child or the parent realizes it or not, they come to terms with things they can talk about, like food. Food is a good topic because we can all try Spanish food. We can all try
Japanese
Thai
sushi.
Yes, and it doesn't get into our relationship so much. So food is a good one. Other families do things like family history. They're collecting photographs of the relatives from before and before and before. Some gardening, you know, they have a place they can go and grow vegetables or fruit. So I see the searching out among the adult generation mothers and children to find topics that are not emotionally dangerous.
Okay. When you talk about their girlfriends or boyfriends, it's very dangerous.
Don't go there.
Don't go there.
Whether they should work or not, whether they should change jobs or not. No. You got to keep things calm.
Yes.
So at least there's some relationship. There's some, but it's very difficult and it's very complex. In any given block, in any given building, there are 30,000 people in some of the buildings in Hong Kong. There are women who want to work. There are women who want to be full-time mothers. There are women who are tired of being full-time mothers. I had 2 clients in the past year who had been working full-time. Their kids were getting to be teenagers, so they wanted to stop their careers.
Okay.
And the question to the counselor was, do you think I'm crazy because I want a relationship with my teenager? No, I think that's fine.
But whether your teenagers want to have a relationship with you
another
is
story.
Another story.
That was my thought. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while to sort that out. But if you feel that strongly, give it a try. But that's a special case. Not too many career women want to stop working.
Very hard to stop. Once you reach that age and you're still working in a corporation, I would say obviously your boss appreciate you and your job satisfaction is pretty high. And I will tell you the truth about Chinese women working. And apart from bringing back the money, have all the freedom to go to Iceland, to Korea, to shopping, I think it's the self-image. maybe Hong Kong is a very materialistic society, and once you have some extra money, you can wear something properly.
Yes.
And if just imagine all your secondary school classmates or your university friends, they continue to work in this business world, whereas you stay home. After maybe 5 or 7 years, you can tell the difference. Meaning, not just your body becomes bigger, it means you really think that you are not as bright as your girlfriends. And I don't know why. I don't think that is totally true. Mother is a pretty tough job. I definitely don't want to take that as a full-time job. But for those stay-home mother, full-time mother, they will start to compare themselves with their classmates.
Of course they
Especially 10 years after you graduate from university, your first or second reunion, you can tell the difference. And some of the mother will come and ask me, I mean, all this motherhood thing, is it worth it? And I think in our last few episodes, we talk about, by then, should I go back to work? And it's so difficult. The woman, if they stay home for quite some time, their self-image has changed. They don't think they are smart enough to get into the business world. But at the same time, I will say they become a little bit complacent or quite satisfied. Home is their comfort zone. They don't need to get up every day at 7:30 to do all the makeup and rush to the MTR to get back to work. And I think at that time, motherhood is like whether the woman really love to stay home as a mother, or whether that is an excuse for them to not go back to the society. And the woman has to be very honest. I don't see woman needs to work, to prove herself. But I can imagine if because of not working, she cannot have that financial freedom.
Yes.
That will be, in the long run, can affect her self-esteem.
Yes.
Right? And sometimes maybe men is not careful or not tactful enough. Well, occasionally they will say something like, well, come on, you didn't make any money. I'm the only one.
Yes.
That
you might say it casually, but
right?
it still hurts.
Right. So come on, look, you spend so much money on the credit card, and I'm the one that's paying all that. When your self-esteem is low, someone says something like that, it really hurts you, right? And even worse, if your child says something like that, Ben's mother can buy this Nike for Ben because her mom 1/3 of her commission or yearly bonus already can buy this Nike, whereas you have to ask Dad. Dad is never going to say okay. So I can see, well, mother, it's like, are we non-stop providing for our children? And when can we tell whether we don't do it because we want to be a full-time mom, or we become so laid back and we just don't want to get up and make ourselves beautiful or smart enough to get a job? It's very hard to tell, and can create a lot of dilemma to the husband, to the children.
One would hope, I don't know that some of the full-time moms talk together.
Okay.
Because you got to talk outside of yourself. You talked about the self-concept.
Yes.
You can't always figure out yourself by yourself.
Yes.
But talk to other women.
Talk to those working full-time. Yeah, those, if you have some classmate that have been working in the past 15 years, go to them and they will say, I envy you. You already have a lovely family and you have children. Why go to work? My boss is crazy. But the thing is, the grass is always greener on the other side.
Yes.
So maybe the one way out is find out. Instead of imagining, is always a better option.
Yes, find out.
Miss out. Yeah?
Find out.
Okay.
Find out. Yeah. And you might also imagine, if you're the mother with relatively young children or teenagers, what would your mother say if you asked her?
Oh, okay.
What would your mother do? So much of the way we think is actually a reflection of how our mothers thought.
Okay.
We all have the potential to work, to have a career, to learn to cook, to be a mother. We have much more potential than we're using. We all know this. You're using about 10% of your brain, if that. So we have a great deal of potential. But our behavior is influenced by our relationships.
Yes, yes.
So your early behavior was influenced by the person who raised you. If she thought you could do that task, then you would do it. You get the attitude, you can do it.
Yes.
If she criticized you, then you get the attitude of, oh, I can always be criticized. As an adult, you have to learn to overcome some of the behaviors that came as a result of experiences with your mother and your father. The first 3-5 years of your life,
Yes.
mostly your mother and father. Then the preschool teachers and the primary school teachers and so on. When you get to be a teenager, it's wild because there's so many influences on your life.
So,
But your behavior is influenced by your experience.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So are you saying, Rosann, no matter what choice you have, if you have this uneasy feeling or like sort of thinking yourself as a failure or whatever negative emotion, maybe it's because of some of the concept, some of the beliefs that you got from your family.
I absolutely.
Yeah. So maybe if you are willing to look into it, whether you want to continue working, stay home, be a full-time mom, just willing to look whether this is you talking, or whereas your parents have a how do I say, a secret message always playing at the back of your brain.
That's your experiences. But it's not only your parents. You also inherit. You inherit the propensity towards. Will you argue it? Will you not argue it? Will you use the vocabulary? Will you not? Because your mother is a product of her mother and father and their genetic composition. Maybe your grandfather was an arguer.
Yes, you have that
Okay?
too.
Comes through. She doesn't know, your mother doesn't know the extent to which she's imitating her father. Your father has a mother and a father, and he got 50% of the genes from each one, 50% of the genes from each one. So you, sweetheart, have 25% of the genes from 4 people who you may or may not know what it was like. But you have that propensity towards. Now, it's the relationship with the mother and father. What happens every day? Do you have a table with the chopsticks all set out, or does each person have to get their own? Do you make up a bed, or you leave it rumpled in? It's okay. Do you sweep the floor, or you wait until Friday to sweep the floor? What were the behaviors that influenced how your mother and how your father approached everyday life? You carry that with you. You talked about your mother being very pretty. I have never seen you at any moment looking sloppy. I have met you in coffee shops, in university classrooms, on street corners. Dorothy always looks great.
Thank you, thank you.
All tied together and organized.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel a bit straggled next to Dorothy. But now I learned today, her mother used to look so pretty.
Yes.
There's a book that I was reading. This one, it's a big one because we got
dictionary.
we have some serious readers
Go
among
to the
us.
side. Look at it, how thick.
Now, this is called, you see, She Has Her Mother's Laugh. And it's an exploration of what we inherit. Not directly, but maybe indirectly. Why is it good? It's long. It's long. It's detailed on inheritance. It's very complex. There's nothing easy about this.
Oh my goodness.
But if we want to know where our feelings come from, maybe we ought to be looking at who were our parents and our grandparents and how they handled feelings.
I've got to show.
Is
it clear?
Is there a sentimental grandmother who saved all the beautiful birthday cards or dried the flowers?
My goodness. Is he a psychologist?
He actually writes for the news. He's a journalist.
Oh, he's a
who got
journalist.
very interested in this question of heredity. And so we know that relationships are based on feelings. Where do the feelings come from?
Wow.
Now, this book takes a look at where our feelings come from. So for those of you who do like the more serious reads, this one's good. How about a movie?
Well, honestly, if this kind of science book, I will skip. I really need to go to a movie house in order to relax.
Yes.
And I start watching movie when I was young, greatly influenced by my father again. Yeah, because my father, even though he is from the 20s, he start watching movie when it's silent movie.
Oh,
right,
wow.
Right at that time, all those silent movie. And today I was thinking there's so many mother and daughter movie I can talk about. But like last time, I have introduced a relatively classic on Golden Pond. And today I also want to introduce all of you who are much younger than me and Rosann to watch another classic. And this movie actually won 5 Oscars at that time. And that movie was very famous, called Terms of Endearment. And that movie was...
Terms of Endearment is a classic.
Yeah, definitely. You must
Absolutely.
have it somewhere in your house so that whenever you want to really have a good cry, you can dig that out. And that movie sort of like resonance with Rosann's book on She Has the Mother's Laugh. In this movie, the Oscar-winning actress is actually Shirley MacLaine, right? And actually, the daughter is played by Deborah Winger.
Oh.
She was also nominated as Best Actress because in that movie, the mother and the daughter play equally important role. So that's why in one movie, 2 actresses were being nominated, and luckily, well, Shirley got it, and sad for Deborah, she didn't get it. Actually, Deborah also deserved an Oscar.
Wow.
And on this movie is the best movie. The best actor was played by Jack Nicholson. And why this movie was interesting is reverse. Actually, Shirley MacLaine played the mother role. It's like a crazy, always romantic kind of mother. She didn't know what she wants. Whereas Deborah is a very competent, always take care of the mother kind of role. So I think maybe as you are watching this, you might have similar situation. You are the one that take care of your mother. And in this movie, it's talk about how this daughter had such a wonderful time or hard time taking care of this mother. And this mother and daughter relationship, how at the beginning had created so much tension when the mother didn't play the role of the mother and the daughter had to take over. But then there's a twist. I don't want to talk about the story, otherwise it's going to ruin the movie. And how the relationship changed. And the mother finally take up the mother role to support the daughter in a crisis. And the best actor is Jack Nicholson. So you can imagine, how come there is a man? Is he the father? So this movie, when I saw it in the 80s, actually gave me a lot of insight about mother and daughter relationship. And sometimes in counseling, we also see a lot of mother didn't play her role as a mother. Somehow, no matter what reason, she failed to do her job. And how it influenced the child.
She's searching all the time.
Exactly.
She's searching, what is she supposed to be? How is she supposed to be?
Yes.
Yeah.
And today we spent an hour talking about motherhood. Actually, it's so complicated. Yeah, there's so many things we want to cover, but it's like we only touch the tip of the iceberg. But I hope that today, by talking to you, we start to thinking the traditional role of mother doing everything, teaching you what to do, and sort of set up a role model for you as a daughter to learn how to be a mother or to be a wife or to be a woman is gradually diminishing. I think today's mother is a little bit harder.
Much more difficult.
Much harder. You don't know what you should do, what you should not do. Your mother is not playing the traditional role. So how to learn to be a mother? You don't have a menu. Right?
We don't have a menu.
Right, and you don't want to be a robot. So how is motherhood going to be changed? And so what's your reflection on this
How
one,
mo-
how motherhood is?
It's complicated.
It's complicated.
It's complicated.
Yes.
One size does not fit all.
Mm-hmm.
But I do see more women trying to figure that out. They not only the early years of childhood, but how do they relate to their teenagers on how many games you can play?
Yes.
Who are your friends? Should the mother get to know the friends of the teenager?
Right.
Whoa.
Can I get into his Facebook?
Yes.
Will he like me?
And then moving on through the university years, how much of the physical good do you buy your child a car when they're going to a university far away? Do you make plans for them to come home once a year? Lots of people of your generation went away for 4 years.
Yes,
No
yes.
coming back to Hong Kong.
No.
So there had to be some physical separation, but somehow families continue. Now, I think young people want the families to continue, but they don't quite know how to do it. You don't go back to the old village. That's not happening. Chinese New Year,
Forget
don't
it.
go back. You don't go back. So we have to, contemporarily, we need to think, how do we want our new families to be?
Yes.
What do we think mothering should be? It's got to be talked about a little bit more.
Yes.
It's got to be talked about.
So what are we going to talk about next week? Let's think about it, right?
Let's think about it. Let's think about it. We've paid a lot of attention to women.
Yes.
Maybe we should be talking about fathers,
Yes.
men, and raising sons.
Yes.
Yes. Next time.
Next time.